So this is Josh Lucas.
Hi, for Media Services at the college.
And he's going to give us the orientation of this big equipment. And he just turned on the light from the very left side.
Okay, light panel is here. You can push them all up and they light up green. They are labeled, if you can see the labels. Okay. All right, so this is their main mixing console of the church. And there are a lot of, it is quite big. So you have at least 48 channels possible.
Okay.
Some of them are more for stereo inputs. So in essence, it's clearly 2 channels.
What Josh just done was right here, this one.
Yeah, the same as Scales Chapel. There is same. Pardon?
And that thing turns on the whole thing.
That is correct.
Except the lights.
Except the lights.
Okay.
Yes. So lights are totally separate.
Okay.
This basically turns on like a spaceship. You just hit one button and it'll activate itself. On the left-hand side here, we have all our wireless handhelds.
How many wireless do we get as the camp meeting?
So you get all these wirelesses. You get everything in this box.
Okay.
So there is 2, 4, 6, 7, and then 8. Basically, this is for any type of microphone you can put.
Okay.
We advise you to bring your own batteries.
Okay. Home batteries.
So that you can. These are.
Yeah, rechargeables.
Yeah, but you
Not
can use them.
trustworthy.
But you know, it's better you have some backups just in case, because your meetings will probably run long. Recording, you can even light, as you can see.
Okay.
So full CD player. Some of the stuff, I don't know if it totally is functioning. It's here, but I'm not sure if you can use the graphic EQ to kind of change it.
So recording, I think that's something they do here.
Yes.
How do you record?
So compact flash, that's a format type. You would use compact flash here.
So you don't record it on the CD?
No, this is just playback. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
You can bring your own equipment, and this is where we were saying that if you move something, then you have to put it back. In the back here, and you'll probably want to come back around. There is a way to connect up to the system.
Okay.
So your engineer would have to know kind of what he's looking
for. Of course.
And so, I mean, we could advise also too.
Because compact flash seems like it's going out technology.
Well, it's the same stuff that they use IDE, you know, the old hard drive. So yeah, it's pretty direct, parallel.
Okay. So you record it there as an MP3?
That is correct. Yeah,
Okay.
and you can dial in your own type. Now, so if you have a person who is very familiar with this Marantz type of recorder, you can put your own card in, and you can dial in what compression rate you want and what sampling rate.
So what would be the button that you need to press? The record button?
Yes, record button. That's right. And then when you press the record button, it'll the first time you press it, it will basically be a check for the levels, and you can control your levels here.
I see.
Everything's labeled, of course, and then you hit it again, and it'll start.
The levels, can we change it live? Like, you know, as they are doing. Some speakers are loud. And
so over here on this board, you'll notice that it's labeled compact flash recorder. This is a direct output from. This is a matrix output from the mains. So the mains, if you drop the mains, then you don't have recording either.
Oh, so the mains affect the speakers too.
That's correct.
Okay, so recording and then the speakers will correlate.
That's correct.
Okay.
So unfortunately, that's how it's tied. Now, if you want a different type of tie or you want to do a different type of recording, then yes, your engineer would have to go back here and rewire it. And I'm assuming that
we don't want to.
So I don't know, like that. Some people, years past, Korean churches have wired their own stuff in.
Okay.
Like I said, just put it back if you do.
So how are these labeling work? This is all wireless?
Okay, yes. So this is the wireless section. As you see, this one's labeled bad, so that is a bad one. So you are actually minusing 1.
Okay.
But these coordinate to the colors on here.
Okay.
So, yeah, brown, red.
And you guys do only wireless, or do you guys have wired mics too, like snakes?
Unfortunately, well, in the making of this video, right now, they're trying to resolve a problem with the wired portion of the system.
Is it because of the static, or?
They use a digital snake, and one of the digital snakes is not working very well at the moment. So this will change. You'll have to make some kind of
addition later on
your website. Say that when we shot this video, they had a problem because the digital snakes are here. One of them is in here, and
but it's
you'll
not
notice
working.
the same type of processor they have in there. But right now they have a problem with it.
Okay.
So it affects all the wired stuff.
Okay.
your monitors should be okay.
So monitors, okay.
Yes, your monitor should be okay. Now, this is of course coming from the church itself. The church doesn't have an AV liaison.
Where's the monitor speakers?
We'll get to that in a minute.
Oh, okay.
So yeah, so obviously these sends would be, and you'll notice live stream also. That They do have a live stream. They do
Yeah, we
stream the
decided
church,
not to
so-
do that, yeah.
Okay. So all right. So
So basically, microphone, the color, you
That's
put it up, the sound will go out
That's
with
correct.
this master's gone up, okay?
That's absolutely,
What's
yeah.
what's a standard going up, the master? I know we have to do it, but
I usually run -5.
-5. Okay.
Yeah, we're supposed to be able to run at 0, but then you would have to do everything. But your guy would know.
Yeah.
Would know.
We really don't want to touch up here, but probably we just want to touch this and that.
Absolutely.
So -5 on that, and
So
this.
usually this would be probably a typical setup.
Okay. That's 0?
Yeah, 0, and then of course, up you would, let's raise one that actually, so something like that would probably be more.
What was that up there? Equalizer?
Yeah, so no, this is the gain.
Oh, gain,
So
gain.
the gain, you can't, some of these mics are calibrated so they have what they call a mic level gain, which is -50, which is what you set up there, and then you have free reign. But like I said, your technology,
Sure.
your engineer guy should know.
Okay. And then this mute, it actually mutes the mics?
That's absolutely right.
Okay.
But you also have group muting also.
Okay, group
So
muting.
You see how these are muted?
Oh, okay. Can you do that one more time? The
Sure.
group mute.
Yeah, this is a group mute here. You push it, and it'll mute.
Okay.
And it'll unmute.
Okay.
Handy for if you have a lot of singers and things like that.
So these are wired. What are these? Why do they go on
Well,
and off?
they had drum mics connected. In
Oh,
here.
so
Yeah.
instruments.
Yeah,
Okay.
obviously you guys might. Okay, I don't know if you guys use drums in yours.
We're not sure, but we might have to know. So do they have some sort of snakes down there for those?
They do. They have connections in the back.
Okay.
Yeah.
And we'll see soon. And is there any like troubleshooting on the signal receiving
As
end?
far as the signal is, when they put this in, they kind of picked frequencies that were all kind
Different?
of different, and they tested it. And we haven't had any trouble.
Okay, so we don't have to worry about this.
That's right.
Okay,
That's correct.
good,
Yeah, it's very turnkey
So
still.
the lights,
There is.
main.
Yeah, I don't know if you do any adjustment with compression. It looks like they do have a lexicon reverb, which is this is like a processor, but I'm not entirely sure the state of whether or not it's connected up or not. So if you have a vocalist that needs to use a type of processing,
okay. It's like
such as-
small hall.
Yeah, exactly. Reverb and delay.
Okay,
Yeah.
karaoke.
Yeah, the basic DSPs.
Yes, yes.
So, but your guy, when your guy comes, he should, when he sees this, should say,
Oh, yes.
yeah, man.
Well,
Usually-
for the people who doesn't absolutely know,
Oh,
we just
sure.
want to make this video.
But
Yeah.
yes, no, absolutely, yeah.
Yeah.
But hopefully, each church that comes will have someone that is.
Master light that you want to turn off when you're done.
That's right.
Daily, right? You don't leave it on overnight.
Yeah, they don't like to leave it on overnight.
So these are all the media stuff,
This is
visual.
for graphics and streaming. Streaming's in the middle, and on the end is lighting.
Okay.
So let's start with lighting first.
Yes,
because
sir.
That's probably the easiest. Okay. So the consoles, like the audio console, you pop this off. You can do this last or first. It doesn't really matter. But you have to go back here. Let's have a light up here. Yeah. You could go back here, and there is in this panel. Just here.
Oh, awesome.
Yeah.
Awesome.
So in this panel here, you have breakers that you need to turn on, and they're actually all labeled. So
Okay.
they're dimmer strips, and basically you just pop them on, like so, and make sure you pop them off when you're done. And they're labeled 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and they actually say dimmer strips. Okay. And once you turn those on, then you come back here and you turn off the console. And the console you can turn on. It's kind of like a small mini computer.
Where did you press for the power?
In the back here. And
Okay.
It's just a switch back
Oh,
here.
okay.
Yeah, you can feel it. It's the only switch, actually.
Okay.
And okay, so it'll power itself up. Once it powers up, you can do a quick bump to kind of check to see if the lights are active. Oh, you gotta make sure master is up. And yep, You can do a quick bump to see if they're active, and then of course you can raise them.
So it's not a program, it's individual lights connected to individual switch.
That's correct.
That
Yeah,
makes it so much
as
simpler.
you can see
Yeah.
back here, if you see the whole rig.
At our church, we have like a show A, show B, and then everything is different. You know,
Now,
every
you
light's.
can program it.
No, I don't
to
like that.
Also, but yes, this is individual control.
Okay.
And it is labeled. So left, right, stage, pulpit.
Okay, can you play around so I could kind of show the whole church
Sure.
changing with the lights?
So let's do a left, right stage first.
Okay.
You can do left, right stage.
Okay.
You see, I can kind of control that.
Yes.
Then we have pulpit, which is that.
Okay.
You can kind of mix that in with the left, right stage or center. You have baptistry in case you're having baptism.
Baptistry.
Yeah, and then the pipes are lit because.
Oh, those are pipes.
Sorry, this is left, right wall. I'm sorry.
Wall.
And then the organist and then the pipes. You see.
Okay.
So if you have someone that.
We light the pipes too.
Yeah, well, the organ is the main attraction. It's the West Coast, one of the big West Coast things.
Is this so?
Rieger organ.
Oh,
It's
okay.
It's a air-driven organ. So
Okay.
It's quite unique.
We light the pipes. Awesome.
Yes. Okay, so and then left, right on your banners.
Oh, banners.
So like I know you guys drop banners because every year. So there you go.
Okay.
Yeah, you have lit.
It has to be the long banner then. It's already preset.
I think you guys have. I'm not entirely sure. You have to talk to Frank because he hangs your banners up.
Right.
Every year.
But it's good to know that we don't make sideway banners.
That's
you know?
right. That's right. Yeah. So it needs to be long. Okay.
Yeah.
And yeah, so that's pretty much it for the lighting portion. And then you have whatever program you set. You're completely done with lights. The church likes to have the breakers put back into the off position. So we'll just go ahead and do that now. Put them all into the off position.
So if we turn this off, then there's no lights, period, in the church.
No, there is lights in the church via switches. The actual creative lighting or the stage lighting is
okay, so this
done
is just the
separately.
creative
This is-
lighting.
yeah, stage lighting.
Okay,
yes,
okay.
yeah. So the actual stage lights and you probably could show them kind of on the truss. There's
okay,
lighting on the truss. And yeah, that would be the lighting.
So not for the congregation lighting, but just the creative lighting, spotlights. Yeah.
That's right for the stage and the preacher. Yeah, in the last minute resort. You can
Okay.
use ours.
So media services account.
That's right, yeah. So media services account as a last resort, but
Okay.
you have to talk to us first, and my boss has to clear it.
Okay, of course. That's in the video. So
Yeah.
yeah.
So, but yeah, other than that, other than that, this is the streaming computer.
But can we show us a little bit?
graphics
Yeah, the way it's
Okay.
running. You
So
know.
let's. So
The
now
power
this is
on.
powered up. Yep.
Okay.
And both projectors are supposed to be powered up.
Okay.
Okay. So now I don't know if they're having still problems with that projector because they were having problems also.
No.
Dimming problems. It'll still work, but
Oh, it'll work. Okay.
Because these things project with four bulbs at a time. It's a really bright. This is 10,000 lumens.
Okay. It's so because of the distance.
That's right.
Yeah.
That's right. So go ahead. There's another button here. So once you press this on, there's a red button also here,
What's that red button do?
and I'll show you here. You turn this on, you get these two lights, red and green, and then you hit this button, and you'll hear this thing start up.
So that's just the power button. Up there is the running button.
That's right.
I'll show it
And you
over
do
there.
the same exact thing here.
Uh-huh.
You hit this again. So yeah, you
So
can hit
this
the button.
one,
Yeah, hit that one. Yep.
and then
the red
that
button.
one. Okay.
That's right.
You're good?
When you hit the red button, then they both power up.
Okay.
So it takes about 3 minutes or so to kind of get
Okay.
them warmed up. I don't know if we have a guest. I need to talk to that's one thing we need to talk to the church about is
Account.
they need to get, because I'll show you here.
Okay.
Because right now it's PUC church, right? But yeah, when you switch users, let's cancel out. Switch users here.
So this is the PowerPoint. This is the video.
That's correct, yeah.
All the audio is already hooked up.
Audio is already hooked
So
up, yes.
do we control the audio down there,
That
or
is correct.
okay?
In fact, I needed to show you that it actually labeled graphics.
Graphics.
Everything's labeled. So
Okay.
Yeah, you shouldn't have a problem. Graphics is graphics. And this
Okay.
is graphics. And then you just turn on your thing, listen to it.
As it's booting up, it's a Mac, but we still could use the Microsoft PowerPoint.
PowerPoint is loaded on here.
Okay.
PowerPoint is loaded on here as well as Keynote, as
Keynote.
well as ProPresenter. If
Okay.
you're familiar with ProPresenter.
Okay.
Yeah. The church uses ProPresenter because then it can bring in PowerPoint, but a lot of people just use PowerPoint.
Okay.
And then you have.
Do you have internet access up here? So like you could show YouTube
yes,
clips?
Yes.
Okay.
There is. Yeah, exactly. There is internet access here
Okay.
also.
So hello, West Coast Korean Camp Meeting. This is Nick Miller, our computer guru. He's going to teach us how to do the graphics on these third floor PUC church stuff. So Nick, tell us what you did to turn on all these systems.
Okay, so by default we try to keep all of the computers in this rack running at all times. When things get shut off here, they stop communicating well with the other components. So we leave it on. The one thing that we do turn off is each of these stations has a monitor screen, and we just hit the power on these monitors to turn them off. We leave the computer that they're connected to running. We turn off the monitors. Now this iMac was off, but we also leave it running. So we'll give it a second to boot. The reason some of these things turned off is probably because we had a blip in the power. And anytime that happens, the computer turns off and some of the other components shut themselves off. And sometimes we have to go through a reset procedure to get everything to function correctly.
So if I reiterate, once we turn it on for camp meeting, we never turn it off but the monitor?
Right, yeah.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, we can put the iMac to sleep, but the rest of the computers we leave running and just power off them.
Okay. How do you turn off and turn on this main thing? I'm just in case, just curiosity. Where's the switch?
So there's two main switches. There's this Furman power conditioner up here, and then there's another Furman power conditioner down here. And they have these switches in here.
Oh, the flip open switch.
Yeah.
Okay.
And that will power on and off this entire rack, but again, we leave it on.
Okay.
And just let everything run as it is. What we'll probably do for you guys, just to make it easier, is create an account on the computer. There's these other accounts. Some of them have passwords on them. The church one doesn't. But since you guys will have your own account, we can probably put a password on it so that you can keep your content secured. And yeah.
All right. How did you turn on these machines? Or was it on?
Yeah, so everything over here runs just like the other components, and we just turn on and off the monitors. These top ones have touch-sensitive buttons, and then the bottom ones have physical on-off buttons.
Okay.
This is the camera remote control. It has a power button on the back, right here, and we do turn that off at the end of each service. Now, the other thing that we turn on and off are the cameras themselves. They're two remote cameras that we have connected. And over here on the controller, we have a button that says power. When you press that button, it tells you the status of those two cameras. And when it's green, it means they're off. So to turn it on, we press the power button, we hold it, and then we press the button for the camera that it corresponds with. And then we do the same with the second camera. And as you can see, the lights have changed. They've turned blue. And then in a moment, we'll actually see their feeds pop up on this screen.
So 2 cameras.
Yes. So right there, we saw camera 2 turn on, and then also camera 1 is now on.
So we press 1, and then it becomes blue, and then you get to control that one
Yes.
camera.
Yes, so you control one camera at a time, and these buttons let you select which camera you're going to be controlling. So if I select 2, it's going to let me control the functions for camera 2.
Okay.
And the
So
same is
those
true with
joystick, if you twist it, it zoom in and out?
Yes, there's a twist knob here that will zoom in and out, and then of course there's a full control here for pan tilts.
Maneuvering, okay.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
This is the live stream computer. Since we won't be streaming, we won't worry about it. Its only purpose is to connect our video feed to any online services. This is our graphics mixing station. So any type of video or PowerPoint presentation gets fed through here and ends up on the screen. Let me sign this in. Use how it transitions. So,
Okay. Can you just give us a rough overview of what all the buttons do?
yeah.
there? Okay.
So there's a lot of buttons on here. We only use a few of them. They have these short labels on them. So Cam F stands for camera feed, GRA stands for graphics, Cam C stands for center camera, and then DSIG is digital signage, but we won't need to worry about that one.
Okay.
There's an issue I'm figuring out with the graphics here, because it should be showing up there instead of the camera feed. But since we do have, we have this camera feed and this camera feed right now, I can show you how that transition works. So there's different transition styles. Usually we just leave it at mix, and that was a typical fade. And you can either cut it, which will, you can either cut it, which will switch them out automatically, or you can have it do a transition like this. But since our graphics feed is...
So when you say transitional style, if you set it in that setting and you just press different button, it'll do whatever that is programmed here.
No, you always use these controls
Okay.
to transition them. If I just click this, it's going to just cut to them.
Okay.
And so, but if I use this auto button, it will fade
Oh, okay.
Yeah. There's
So-
also these other ones. They're not as appealing.
Okay.
There's a wipe one too.
So bottom line is this function transition is more of a fancy way of doing it.
Yes,
Yeah, it's
yes.
not like really, it's not gonna do more of the function.
Right.
Okay.
Yeah. It's just letting you transition between elements a little more
Okay.
aesthetic
Okay.
pleasing.
But you could just press anything and it'll work.
Yes. So
Okay.
I'll press this and then
Okay.
we'll switch all around.
So for the camp meeting's sake, 2 cameras and 1 graphic that is Macintosh.
Yes.
Okay. All right.
Um,
How does the audio work if you were to play video?
okay. So there's an audio feed that goes from the computer down to the sound.
Uh huh.
And so the sound operator can control the sound level.
Okay. So for instance, let's say you played a video up here, and if the sound guy totally forgot to turn off the mute, then there will be no.
Correct.
Okay.
Yeah.
Then
It's
do you
up
have
to
some?
the sound operator to unmute and then mute again the channel for the audio feed.
So besides the rehearsal, how do you signal to the other guy if he's dozing off and not having audio?
Well,
Do you have like a
probably
walkie-talkie?
Throw some rocks at him, but we also have a headset system that we use
Okay.
that we can get you guys set up with.
Okay.
And it's an intercom system,
Mm.
so it's not. You don't have to worry about push to talk. It's just always on.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, and it's two-way, so we can talk at the same time. You won't get cut off.
Mm.
I won't get cut off.
So it seems like the way it's set, you need a minimum of 3 people up here.
You'll need somebody at graphics. You'll need somebody to run the camera. You'll need somebody to run the sound. at
Oh, okay.
minimum. Yeah.
Okay.
With lights, it's easy to just set them and go,
Mm.
unless you're trying to do something a little fancier.
Okay.
In which case you would need a lighting operator. But if you just want a simple wash of light on the stage, you can set that at the board
Okay.
and then forget it for the rest of the
Okay.
service.
So can you show us a sample of graphic being on, camera being on, and just
Yes.
switch?
I have to get this
Actually, let's
feed
turn on the
working.
projector first.
In programs that we do here at PUC, we use ProPresenter for our presentations, but we can also use PowerPoint, Keynote, any other presentation program that will run on Mac.
For the common sake, can we do the PowerPoint just for this camp meeting stuff?
Okay.
We never know.
So let's see. Looks like we have PowerPoint here on the desktop that we can use.
Okay.
So when we're using PowerPoint, it will of course display the presenter's view on this screen. So you can look at notes, you can look at the current slide and the upcoming slide, and you'll also get a preview of it at all times on this preview screen over here. So where we have graphics listed here, we have the output of this computer. And so whatever you see on this screen is what we're going to end up pushing to the projector screens.
On this screen, what's the projector screen?
So program is always what is showing on the projection
Okay.
screens, and preview is whatever you want to be previewing in the next window.
Oh, okay.
So I
okay.
could preview those two up here, and when I have two different content, two different feeds up here, I can transition between them. So I could do a cut,
Okay.
and it would cut between them, or I could do a fade transition.
All right.
So right now I'll cut to our graphics here, and that displays the PowerPoint presentation. Now this presentation is formatted for 4:3 aspect ratio. It's not occupying the full width of the screen, which is 1920 by 1080 pixels. But you know, I can go through these slides here on the computer, and say we get to the point where there is a speaker, and we want to put the video feed of them on the screen. I can do a cut, or I can do a transition back to the camera.
I see. Is the center camera? Is this the center camera that's on right now?
Yeah. So right now we're on the center camera, and the reason we have two different feeds is for our live stream operator.
Okay.
So for cam meeting, you can just use camera feed,
Right.
and that'll work fine. The reason we have those two is when we're running a live stream presentation, the live stream operator might want to get an audience shot, but doesn't want to send that to the screen,
Right.
Because people in the building don't need to see the audience,
Right.
because they're actually
There,
here.
yeah. Okay.
So for cam meeting, we can just use the camera feed, and that will work just as well. So right now the red means it's at program, and program means it's what's showing up on our screen, and green is preview, and that means
The next one that is about to
Yes.
pop up, and then the transition will change those.
that's correct.
Anything that is particular about the camera that we should know besides the panting and tilting and zooming in and out? Or is that pretty much it?
That's pretty standard. The only trick sometimes is that it can be sensitive.
Oh.
So when you're panning and tilting,
It's too slow.
yeah, it can be difficult, especially to track people. It can be difficult to track a participant on the stage.
When they're moving.
Right. Once we get in here tighter, you know, those movements are harder to follow, just because it's mechanically panning and tilting. Other than that, though, it's fairly straightforward.
Okay. So they need to come and practice a little bit.
Yeah, it does take a little bit of practice. What we do have set up, though, for some scenes, they're set up for both cameras, is we have presets that you can use. And there's these numbered buttons up here. Has 1, 9, 2, 11. These buttons are presets, and if I push this, it will
automatically.
zoom in or zoom out or pan or tilt to a preset location.
You know, is there any way that you could kind of provide a typed up version of all these shortcuts? So maybe, like, you know, if we wanted to use it, because that'll be a really nice,
it's handy,
yeah.
especially if you need to do some quick video transitions. You can stick one over on one transition and then pop over to the other camera.
So bottom line is all you have to do is just press button. You don't even have to use the joystick.
It's true, yeah. The joystick is handy for tracking and following people on the stage, or if you were wanting to do it, you know, a customized shot where maybe you're zooming in and panning and tilting.
So Nick, if we were to email you, can you provide us the shortcuts to what they're doing actually? Those 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. How many functions did you set up already?
I think we have maybe 6. It looks like 7 are set up right now.
If you don't mind.
And really, if you want, you can also configure.
Oh, just play it around. Oh, okay.
And so to do that, you just hit the preset button, and while you're holding it down, you select the preset button that you want to set up. So if I wanted to use this preset, I hit preset, and the number, it would blink, and that would be now saved, so that when I hit number 1, it's going to pop back to what we just programmed it to do. So to press the preset, that means you want to preset, right?
Yes.
But if you were to just use it, just press the number, right? Yes. So preset, we only press and hold preset to actually set the preset. When we're actually using the preset, all we have to do is hit the button.
Because I think we're just going to go ahead and use the one that is already set. Because you guys done this millions of times.
Yeah, it's pretty handy. And these are set up for a typical church service. If you have a special program where you're having participants at one end of the stage, the other, or somewhere else, it's handy to set up new presets. But otherwise, they should be pretty standard.
Yeah, standard for like a speaker speaking. Okay. Awesome. Thank you, Nick.